This weekend is going to be one of the most challenging that I've ever faced as a flower farmer. It just seems as weddings this year are just getting bigger and bigger. And I've also added a pop-up sale with my friends at Vintage Muse. So we have a wedding that has 8 bridesmaid bouquets, of course 1 bridal bouquet, accompanying boutonniere. So it's like a really, really big order. And of course, the bride wants sunflowers. Are there any sunflowers blooming? No, there are not. So of course I had to buy sunflowers. Then the Vintage Muse gig is exactly the day after, but you know what? I haven't done any pop-ups this year. I really want to do something for my people who maybe aren't a subscriber but have been following along. So it's really important for me to do that gig, get in front of more people. Whew. So it's going to be a crazy week, but let's see if I can pull it together. 4 days before the wedding, and the picking has already started. Now in a perfect world, I would pick everything 2 days before the wedding. But as you can see, we're not in my regular garden. We are out at my mom's garden, and she has a bunch of woody stems and some things that I think I'm going to need. This is a giant order. We have 9 bouquets. So 1 bride's bouquet and 8, yes, 8 bridesmaids bouquets. Basically, I have been checking my garden for the last 2 weeks like some sort of obsessive person. Like, are those sunflowers going to bloom? Are the things in my color palette going to be there? I am like a bit of a mad woman, and I still can't believe it is the middle of July and I'm still worried about flowers. Like, friends, we are going to have a video in August and it's going to be like, I have not a care in the world because I have all the flowers available to me. But today is not that day. So we pick. I'm also grabbing a few things that aren't in the color palette just because I have some collaborations with another business. I also have a lot of pink flowers coming up that don't really have a home and I can't use for this wedding. So I think I'm going to try to do a small pop-up sale. We'll see how many blooms I have. So it's Thursday morning and today I'm going to do the bulk of my harvesting. I thought about harvesting this evening, but this week the temperatures are just so hot, absolutely ridiculous. And I think that I'm going to be too tired by the time we get to Thursday evening. And you know, the girls are sometimes unpredictable. And I've just started to learn from the last few weddings that like, I don't want to get behind. I don't want to be cutting it so close to the wire that like the person is coming to pick up and I'm still making boutonnieres. Like, I don't like to roll like that. So we are going to pick this morning. Thankfully, it's looking like there's going to be enough flowers, or like pretty close to enough. A lot of my white stuff that I was really hoping for seems to be popping. Like, good morning, Cosmos. I have needed you. I'll probably pick a few things in the evening though, just because with the big heat, stuff will blow open. So I'll probably want that stuff, but less talking, let's get harvesting. Normally, I absolutely despise this highlighter yellow status, but for this wedding, I am so glad that I have quite a bit of it. These Costa silver snapdragons are just so pretty. I really wish I could have had these for all my blush weddings. These freaking Japanese beetles are absolutely everywhere. And as I've been finding them, I've been giving them as a little treat for the chickens. I don't know if the chickens have exactly figured it out yet, but they will. All right, I think this is about it for this morning. I've gotten 3 good buckets worth. I'll check later tonight to see if there's anything that's popped open in the heat. And otherwise, I'll see you in a bit. Morning, friends. I have my littlest helper here. I've got my coffee, and it is Friday morning, day before the wedding. I've picked as much as I can. We're just gonna do one last check to see whatever's blown open, and then we're gonna just harvest a few things from the ditch just around the acreage, and then we are ready to go. Thankfully, I have a helper today. My friend Naomi is coming over to be my assistant, and here's to a productive work day. Come on, Fizzy, can we go to the garden? Should we go see flowers?
Okay.
So thankfully, a few more things have popped open. I'm very excited about those yellow snaps. Now in a perfect world, they'd be a little more open, but in zone 3 wedding world, we need them, so we're taking them. Now, this one's another Hail Mary, but I was really hoping some of my sunflowers would be open. So let's check, although it's not looking good. So close, yet so far. So even though these aren't my wedding colors, I will need these for the Vintage Muse pop-up. And I am super excited. My very first aster. It's gonna be perfect. And then some of these peach status, like really, really gorgeous. Love it. Well, touring the garden and seeing what's in bloom is wonderful. If I'm gonna get finished today, I've really got to grab my bucket and start picking. I'm not gonna have any water left, am I, by the time she's done? Oh, thank you. So this bucket right here probably doesn't look like tons, but what I've been finding is that this bucket could actually be like the difference between filling the order and not filling the order. So I don't know if you can see it. It's just a light and it's farther away in the film, but it is too close for comfort. We need to move. All right, so we are walking fast because we need those ditch flowers by the acreage. And of course, this is the day they choose to do the mowing. Like, I am pleased that my RM cares so much about our roads. Like, I legit am. But don't mow my goldenrod. I need those. I need those desperately. Oh, and by the way, this is the Naomi that I was mentioning before. That was going to help us. So she's my helper today because the rule is if the order is more than 700, we have help. So there's the grader, not the grader, the mower. We'll be closer. Okay, thank goodness Naomi is a good picker, and I'm going to shut up and start picking. All right, this is a respectable amount, but it comes. It comes. Like, again, this is far away, but it's literally by the acreage right next to ours. Okay, mission accomplished. Just missed the grader. Actually, I don't know if they, or the lawnmower or whatever it is, I don't know if they saw us and were like, what are those two crazy people doing? Running and cutting, and then they actually just turned around. So we got our flowers. It's good. We've been watered, fed. We are armed with lots of water and coffee so that we can get through this. And bouquet making is about to begin. So I don't know if you can hear in the background, Naomi is filling up 9 buckets full of water. So our plan is that we are going to separate out all of the bouquets. She's going to separate the stems. I'm going to basically do all the bouquets as she kind of has a bucket done. And then hopefully we can cycle through this process just a little bit faster. Naomi, like, these are going to be really pretty. I like, now that I see it,
I think you're gonna have lots to work with.
So lately in the last couple of videos, many of you have been asking what certain flowers are at certain timestamps. So I thought I would be a little bit nicer to you, and let's go through what I'm using for this wedding. For the greens, we have some spirea, lady's mantle, and 9 bark. Then I also have a little bit of this, what I think is Persian cress, but was supposed to be Atraxa. I think this is clover. Then we have some feverfew, homegrown baby's breath, cloudgrass, some Queen Anne's lace. We have cosmos, just a few snapdragons, little bit of goldenrod, sunflowers, We have just a few brown-eyed Susans and some forget-me-nots to tie in the blue with the wedding theme. So when I started making this bouquet, I did not feel very sure about this color palette, and even like when I saw the flowers together, I was sort of like, okay, is this actually going to work? But now that I'm finishing it up, like, I am so pleased. It just, the bride has some Ukrainian heritage, and like, to me, doesn't this scream like a support Ukraine type bouquet? Oh, love it. The bride's bouquet is done. I'm so happy with it, but you're gonna have to wait till the end of the video to see every single bouquet and how they turned out. Anyway, we are on to the bridesmaids' bouquets. Naomi has everything pretty much sorted out, so it should just be a matter of I keep grabbing a bucket, make the bouquet, tie it. She can keep taking away compost, doing the ribbons, and hopefully we can just bang these guys out. Boom, boom, boom. In this bucket, we have mostly the same stuff as the bride with just a few exceptions. So bridesmaids, some of them will have some of that highlighter yellow status, but it'll look good in here. And, oh yes, some of this Godatia. So this is Godatia that just would not bloom, and it didn't look like it was gonna bloom. I didn't know what the deal was. I was too impatient. I had so much of it. I was like, they're greens now. So that's how I roll. All right, let's get making these bouquets. Morning, friends. Well, new day of the wedding, and unfortunately last night did not quite go as planned. It was plus 33 degrees the whole day, and even though I like stayed in the shade, took lots of breaks, took water, I still didn't feel that great last night. So instead of finishing those last two bouquets in the boutonnieres, I had to sleep and just like rest and wear it off. But I feel 100% this morning, and at least it's not too much. The friend of the bride's is going to come pick up sometime between 10 and 11. So it's currently around 8 a.m. That gives me 2 hours. I can definitely finish everything in that amount of time. Before we work on the wedding, we still have that pop-up at Ocean House with Vintage Muse, and we need to collect flowers for that, because ideally I will have all of that done before I myself go to the wedding, and we'll just drop it off and then we'll come visit them on Sunday. So lots of work. Let's get harvesting. One really nice thing about this gig with Ocean House and Vintage Muse is that I can use all of my stuff with color. And on the heat, it looks like quite a few things have popped open. I finally caught the amazing gray poppies. Aren't they so beautiful? These ones are from West Coast Seeds, but I know you can get them other places too. All right, last two bridesmaid bouquets are made, and now it's on to the boutonnieres. I always like kind of forget to show you guys the boutonnieres, so this time I'll give them a little bit more love. So in our boutonniere palette, we have the cornflowers just for the grooms, because the bride only has blue, so the groom will only have blue. Then we have a little bit of status. There's some goldenrod, Dusty Miller, and these winged everlastings. I also have a few herbs, mostly mint. I think there's some thyme hiding in there, and rosemary, so everybody's boutonniere can be a little different. All right, I am a hot and sweaty mess. Desperately need a shower, but the flowers are going to be picked up in about 15 minutes, so no rest for the wicked. I need to take some pictures. Morning, friends. It's another hot one. The wedding yesterday was beautiful. The wedding party was gorgeous. The bride was just stunning. I was so pleased with how my flowers looked. The only thing is those winged everlastings on people's boutonnieres were getting droopy. So every groomsman I saw with droopy flowers, I just like picked them off. But yeah, definitely on the list of ones not to use again. Oh, so this morning is all about Vintage Muse YXC, and we're gonna get those pop-up things done. I have about an hour and 15 to like whip those arrangements up, but you know what? Everything's cut, everything's ready to go, so it should be just fine. So let me show you what we're working with. So we have some very gorgeous vintage vessels. I think this little blue pitcher here and this kind of gold brassy one or whatever are my favorites. But I have some ideas for these. This one we're definitely gonna like lean into that 70s vibe and use all the yellow goldenrod. I think this one's just gonna have a bit of cloudgrass in it, maybe this one as well. I have some peonies, I think for the blue ones that would be stunning, and we'll just sort of see what happens. I grabbed a couple of these peonies that I had stored in the fridge, and like, won't they look divine with these blue containers? So I had to stop filming because it's storming out. The sky is looking pretty ominous. There's thunder, there might be lightning, it's starting to rain. We gotta get the stuff in the truck and delivered. That was absolutely wild, to say the least. It's still a bit rainy and stormy, but over in the direction we need to go, it's clearing up. So truck is packed, kids are packed, and we are off. The Vintage Muse sale is over and it did fairly well. It was great working with both Kat and Char. I found when I got there that the flowers that I made just coordinated perfectly with all of the vignettes that they created. So it really added to the space. Sales were okay. We sold about half the arrangements. Yet again, as with last year, purple is just not a color that sells for me, at least in the summer. In the fall, it seems everybody wants purple, but not now. Anyway, it was a great experience. My share of the flower profit that sold was around $100, and I would definitely do it again. So next up, I have a little bit of a break between weddings, and then I have weddings all of August. Also, all of my bouquet making nights will be starting in August, so it's going to be really busy. I also have an in-person backyard business class, so if you haven't taken the course, or even if you have taken the course, but you want to learn from me about how to make bouquets, how to flower farm, pricing, wedding work, all of that stuff, I will be having one of those days at my acreage in mid-August. So all the details are down there. And last but not least, if you like my shirt, it's for sale on my website, and I'll also leave the link. All right, friends, see you in the next one. Bye-bye.